According to Lakers links, there might be a Gordon Hayward Russell Westbrook trade. And in other news, Doc Rivers wants a return to LA. Here are the essential details of the various rumors and reports. Let's start with the Lakers' intentions for Westbrook. For the Lakers to squeeze out of the contract they currently have with Russell Westbrook, who used to be referred to as Wsstbrook due to his court dominance, the Lakers have adopted some creative contract managing loopholes. One option that has been gaining momentum is the idea of a trade with the Hornets. So if the Lakers actually implement that action, they're going to have to trade Russell Westbrook this summer. This will require them to take on a different type of high-money contract while seeking out other potential value with it. It's been reported by an NBA analyst that the best strategies for the Lakers to find a trade partner for Westbrook this summer narrows down to taking on more long-term money and utilizing the fact that he is an expiring contract while his performance has dwindled down to heartbreaking depths, which could cause a potential debt. As a lifesaver, one of the suitors that makes the most sense is a Charlotte trade. Aside from the various NBA analysis reports of the best step for the Lakers to take, it's already been rumored that the Los Angeles Lakers are widely expected to trade Russell Westbrook this offseason, with the acknowledgement that any deal involving Westbrook will bring back long-term salary to Los Angeles. Regardless of the major LA Lakers' interest in trading Westbrook to the Charlotte Hornets, it's unlikely the Lakers will take back Gordon Hayward in a deal. The Lakers are likely to prioritize players with cleaner injury histories given the recent availability issues they've had with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Keep in mind that out of 154 games, Hayward has missed 71 of them in his first 2 seasons with the Hornets. He also missed considerable time with the Boston Celtics over the prior 3 seasons. The Lakers would be offering the Hornets a mutually beneficial deal by trading them Westbrook. This would free up the cap space for a Hornets side set to have to pony up for both Miles Bridges and LaMelo Ball in the coming years. Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report has been studious on the subject and confirms that the deal appears to be gaining traction around the league. Mark Stein, sports reporter for ESPN and the New York Times, suggests that the idea of moving Hayward's $30 million salary and additional contracts, such as Kelly Oubre or Mason Plumlee, and a third smaller deal to Los Angeles for Russell Westbrook's expiring contract has taken hold among league executives. Westbrook would be owed $47 million in 2022-23 if he picks up his player option, which in turn would create significant financial flexibility for the Hornets in the summer of 2023. But the idea of Los Angeles adding another expensive player with extensive injury history doesn't seem to be the smart option at the moment. And while the Hornets explored acquiring Westbrook, a Jordan Brand athlete, from the Rockets back in 2020, that was before Ball's star turn. So it seems that they might finally get their man and be the fuel needed for Westbrook to transfer back into Wsstbrook. On the other hand, Hayward still offers a strong fit next to Charlotte's growing core when he's healthy and not riding the bench. As for his contract, it will only last 1 season longer than Westbrook's. Popular NBA analyst Jake Fisher, who runs one of the leading basketball podcasts called Please Don't Aggregate This, has explained that as an on-court fit, Hayward presents about as many questions as answers, but it's a far better situation than the one with Westbrook, which seems untenable after his exit interview. Fisher was quoted saying, "Anyone I've talked to in and around the Lakers has said there's no way this guy is coming back next year." It certainly seems that a trade is going to happen, and Eric Pincus of the Bleacher Report reinforced the reports as he wrote that in order to make these trades to get rid of Westbrook, whether it's for Hayward or a separate one, draft picks very well might need to be included, which is a proposition or a tough pill for the team to swallow. Just because they aren't ecstatic about it doesn't mean they won't do it. As long as LeBron James and Anthony Davis are on the team, the Lakers should be looking to compete, and it may require parting with draft picks to do so. As for the next big news with the Showtime Lakers, we have the suspense regarding the head coach. Rumors are making rounds about the head coach position opening even though the postseason has not officially started. With this position being so important, it would be unwise for the Lakers front office not to already be doing their due diligence. 2 of the most prominent names in the search are Doc Rivers and Quinn Snyder. It is very intriguing to watch not just for the possibility of them heading out of the City of Angels, but what it means for their current teams. The two most high-profile candidates for the Lakers' head coaching job so far have been Philadelphia's Doc Rivers and Utah's Quinn Snyder. One would come with a lot more excitement from fans, Snyder, and the former Celtics and Clippers coach enthusiasm seems to be a much lesser degree. Rumors suggest that Doc Rivers prefers to return to LA, while Quinn Snyder couldn't care less. On his popular podcast, Jake Fisher spoke about both coaching candidates, first commenting on Coach Rivers' preference to return to Los Angeles. He was quoted saying, "There seems to be a lot of momentum toward him exiting stage left in Philly. Doc spent a lot of time in LA as a Clippers coach. Talk around the league is that that's the job that he wants, and I wonder if the Doc Lakers smoke is more driven by that being a situation that Doc wants more than the Lakers want." Analysts also agreed that the optics of hiring the coach that led two of the Lakers' most hated rivals would be hard to overcome alone. It's another bitter pill to swallow for some diehard fans. On top of that, Rivers' recent coaching performances, ranging from choking with the Clippers in the bubble playoffs to choking with the Sixers in last season's playoffs, don't exactly inspire confidence. While on the topic of choking in the playoffs, according to inside word from Jake Fisher, the Utah Jazz could be parting ways with Snyder this offseason if they suffer another collapse. While Rivers' collapses have traveled with him from city to city, Snyder seems to be personnel-related. Because of that, there is far more excitement about his potential arrival to La La Land. Unfortunately, his enthusiasm remains dormant as he trends in the opposite direction of Rivers. Regarding Quinn's desire, or lack thereof, to relocate to the land of Hollywood, an insider was quoted saying, "To be honest, I've heard from a lot of people who are close to Quinn or who have worked with Quinn or have known Quinn in the past. It doesn't seem like Lakers is something that he really would want. I feel like that interest and his name popping up might be coming more so from the Los Angeles side of things, and that the San Antonio job would be far more attractive to him." As a matter of fact, Snyder has already attempted to defuse the explosive rumor that he'd be leaving Utah and West Coast bound. This attempt was reinforced after how the Lakers handled the Vogel firing. Apparently, treating your coaches like scapegoats has consequences around the league. Another option the Lakers strongly looked into was a contract with DeMar DeRozan. But this could only take place if he would have been willing to take a huge pay cut. Jake Fisher gave his in-depth response saying, "From what I've been told from time and time again by people in and around the Lakers is that they did not want to take on someone who'd be having guaranteed 3-year max type salary that would hard cap them and limit their flexibility. So the deal that DeMar got in Chicago, he was not getting with the Lakers. I remember even hearing that Lakers people were trying to convince DeMar to take the minimum or a Kendrick Nunn deal to try and come and be a supporting cast guy, which obviously he had no interest in doing." It totally makes sense that the Lakers want to avoid being hard-capped. But thinking that DeRozan would or should take a minimum deal or even a deal worth $10 million over 2 years when he signed a deal worth $82 million is either a gross miscalculation of DeRozan's ability or his market value. Some might say it's just a straightforward insult. Which coach do you think is the best for the Lakers? And what would you have them do about Westbrook? Comment down below.